What happens when a glamorous madam and a small town sheriff team up to take on a champion of morals and tries to shut down a ranch that has nothing dirty going on?
They sing, they scheme, and they politely remind everyone that morality tends to get very loud right before it tips over its own hypocrisy.
Find out next on Trees in Space. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Trees in Space show, where we watch and review movies of all genre and we tell you what the fans thought, what the critics thought, and what we think. Is it worthy of an entire forest, a small grove, or just a stump to sit on? This week, in case you missed the thumbnail, we watched the 1982 musical The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, starring Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton. I am Jason Smith, and with me, as always, is the brains up in Boston, the witty to my Smitty, the only man that can milk a cow using his feet, Nathan Hanks. How you doing, Nate?
Hey everybody, hey, you know what?
What?
This musical didn't suck.
That is insane because, Nate is not a big musical fan, even though a while back we decided to do musical March.
Yep.
And he put his foot in it and we did it.
Yeah. So and I lucked out. I only got to pick two, and they're musicals. Um,
We're
but yeah,
singing.
it wasn't bad. I was quite impressed with a young version of Dolly Parton. That was the most young version of her I've actually seen, at least to my memory. Um, so yeah, it was definitely a good pick for sure. I think maybe we should let the audience know what it's about so we can get into this movie.
Well, let's do that. Miss Mona, which is Dolly Parton, runs the Chicken Ranch, a brothel with a long history in a small Texas town. The sheriff, Ed Earl Dodd, who is Burt Reynolds, looks out for the chicken ranch due to the locals having a good relationship with the institution and Mona being respected in the community. However, when pious reporter Melvin Thorpe, who's Dom DeLreese, exposes the brothel, outside interests want to shut it down, putting the governor, Charles Durning, in a tough spot. Yeah, and the
Man,
governor of the governor.
I'm gonna tell you that that Pius or that Melvin dude, he is
Yes.
fake. Oh, everything about him is fake.
That was one of the
He's
best scenes, him getting dressed.
yeah, he's putting on a girdle. He's from New Jersey. He's got shoulder pads, his wig, like, and he's talking
Stuff.
about like fairness and transparency. And it's
Hmm.
like, you freaking hypocrite.
I think that's a good. I think that kind of was supposed to be for like a mirror of society because a lot of these people that try to do an expose on a bad thing are probably not doing such great things themselves. I mean, they might be. But let's start with the beginning of this film because I've seen this movie a lot of times. I didn't realize there's so much narrating at the very beginning. I'm like, is this guy ever going to stop talking? I'm. It's like, and I
I
apparently
didn't
used to not mind narration.
I didn't realize that I have an impression of him or like a voice that's similar to that voice.
Gomer Pyle, yeah.
Yeah. Like I didn't like I thought it was a Huell Hauser who's out of
Mm.
California, but they have a almost the exact same voice. So I was
Oh,
like, and that's when I actually looked at the credits. I was like, is this Earl Hauser? I was like, well, he's not here.
yeah.
Who is this guy?
It's that Jim Neighbors is the actor that plays the guy there. But when you mentioned Dolly Parton being young,
Yeah,
I ain't seen this in a while. But when
she
she
was
came down
lovely.
them stairs, she's a gorgeous woman.
Yeah.
Her face is just, I mean, and I also found out years later that the way she looks, she stole that look from a prostitute.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
that's just her general makeup look too. She likes to look
right.
like a hooker.
Yeah,
And
and she got the part long. I mean, long after she decided to look like a hooker. I think it's perfect.
there was one scene towards the end of the movie that they had a close up of her and she had like blue or purple makeup, like eye makeup and bright
Hmm.
red lipstick. And she was just the right shade of white, make it look like she was wearing clown face. and I almost started cracking up laughing. I was like, "What the hell is this?" Like, they just did her so wrong. And then like the next cut, like the makeup was a lot less. So
Yeah,
I think somebody
that
maybe
was good.
caught on to it.
Yeah. See, and a thing about this movie that I didn't really pay attention to till this time around was it's okay that there's a song about sneaking around, right? The sheriff and her are sneaking around. But it
Yeah.
seemed like everyone in the town already knew there was a relationship because when it came to the end, no one was surprised that, they were in a relationship, you know? It's like
I
there was
didn't
no
realize he was married until he was at Thanksgiving. I thought that was like his mom or something, and
no,
like,
that's not his wife.
or
That's the girl that
his
pretends to be his
daughter or
wife.
sister.
Yeah, that's the woman that pretends like when she was arguing with him, she goes, "You got that girl in there pretending to be your wife and me to be your mistress, and you're just playing games." So he wasn't married to anyone. That
But okay, I'm
I
so confused.
yeah.
Then, like, are they dating?
He's using one to sleep with and one to do the housing stuff with, Thanksgiving and the proper life.
But he's not
No,
married to the proper life one.
no, no, no. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. If you listen to the argument near the end, one of the best lines ever. We'll get to that in a little bit though. Um,
Well, I recalled the
uh,
line. I just assumed that they were married. So then when what happened at the end happened, I was like, oh, he must have done something about it.
no, he was never married, but he was. It was. It kind of got right into it because they had the song "Nothing Dirty" going. I love that song.
Yep.
You're
It's
gonna
not
do
my
what I
favorite.
say.
It's not my
Yeah.
favorite,
Well, it's
but
not my favorite either.
it's a good one.
Yeah, she was. Hey, you gotta follow my rules. No chewing tobacco or chewing gum. No tattoos. You like, whatever. It's not classy. Keep pimps out of here. And I
Yep.
mean, it's a great song. And those women. I mean, I'm not alive, barely alive in '82. I'm 10. And I don't know, and oh, this is my mother for you. She let me go watch this movie, me and my sister by ourselves, and night when it came out in theaters.
A rated R movie, I believe.
I, I don't know. I was 82. They didn't have PG-13 because this is definitely square in the PG-13 realm. Maybe you are because they had a lot of boobs.
No, it was R because of the amount of nudity. They had more than like two sets of boobs.
Yeah. So, because it was a musical, I suppose, and Dolly Parton. How bad can it be with Dolly Parton's in it?
Right.
But these ladies of the night or whatever, the only one was really attractive. The rest of them were just, to me, was kind of
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
But
I agree.
I mean, the only one I thought was really attractive, I'm going to see if I can name who she was. If you remember the scene at the very, very end when the bus Greyhound comes to the chicken ranch and they're on the
Yep.
front porch. And that one girl sees it and she's the one who stands up and they kind of show her stand up, whatever, that brunette in the top. Oh my
She is the
God.
most attractive of all of the ladies of the house.
Oh my God. She's absolutely gorgeous.
Uh,
Anyways,
there was the scene in the like towards the beginning when you find out that the sheriff and Mel are sleeping, or is it Mel? Is her name?
no,
Mona.
her
Mona.
name Mona, Miss
Where the
Mona.
sheriff, yeah, where the sheriff and Mona are in a relationship together. Um, she asks him to put on these black pairs of underwear, and then he goes, well, fine. I'll just go into the bathroom and put them on then.
Yeah,
Like he's
because
like,
he
fine,
was,
fuck it. Like,
yeah.
but you know
If she
what?
gonna leave, yeah,
Everything else that he did besides those underwear was way worse than just wearing the underwear. His
yeah.
dance moves
So
were awful. His singing wasn't that great. Like, and he just wore a towel the whole time. Like,
he said he felt so classy, and he had his pants down by his ankles. And he's waddling around, saying he felt classy.
yeah,
And I liked how he called it a Japanese slingshot. And then she gives it to the sheriff's deputy, who brings it back to him, and he goes, "Here, she meant to give these to you. It's a Japanese slingshot." I like that little callback right there. That was kind of cute.
it was beautiful. I think it was also cute that like the deputy always interrupted things for the sheriff. He was always the
Yes.
deputy that would bring him the bad news. The deputy would interrupt his fornication. The deputy would always do this and that. Um,
Yeah.
I thought it was quite funny. I also like
And
the how the chicken ranch got its name
I was gonna
and
bring it up.
like
I'm glad you did.
the history of this institution and why they're really fighting to keep it. Like it
Yeah,
makes
they,
sense.
which is why you needed the narration because they can't just film all that kind of stuff. But like
Oh,
he says in
exactly.
the movie, it was during the Great Depression, I suppose, where they had no money, so they would trade chickens for sexual favor, and that's how they got the chicken ranch. They got tons and
Correct.
tons of chicken. I didn't see any chickens but today's standards, I didn't see no chickens out there. But
I didn't see
uh,
any chickens at the end of the movie, so they must be
no,
doing pretty well and said F them chickens.
well, so what happens is Norman, whatever his name is, the watchdog guy, he hears about the thing and he goes and he
Melvin.
goes to Melvin. He goes to talk about it. He talks about it on his show. And before that happens, when that happens, the Burt Reynolds character goes to talk to him about it, and he acts like he's don't worry about him. I'm not going to do anything. This is that scene where he's putting the sock in his pants and everything else. And then he busts out in song, and I love it. He goes, Texas got the whorehouse in it, you know. And then the whole point where he goes, and he don't shut it down, and all those faces turn and looked at him in the audience, and I love that scene because he's just like, "What the hell?" And that's the whole movie.
Pretty much. One thing I caught on to while watching this movie is how much you almost emulate Burt Reynolds in your personality every day.
Stop it. Get some help.
Like
That's one of
almost
the greatest compliments I ever heard. Thank you.
like the way he moved, the way he talked, the like his charisma, like it was so old, but like you knew it worked. Like that's how like you kind of like operate. I was even like Smoking the Bandit. Like it's the same kind of swagger, you know. It's just fascinating to me. I loved everything about that, and I also forgot how much I love Burt Reynolds' laugh. Like
Hmm.
I think I've really only seen Burt Reynolds in Smokey and the Bandits. So I just thought that was a thing he did, but like no, his that
Yeah.
like a real laugh. Yeah.
Whatever it is, he does that so good. And I don't know how many comedies he's in, or I mean, most of his stuff are actions. But let's see. And then of course the scene where Melvin P. Thorpe is there, and he, the sheriff comes out there and tries to get him out. He goes, "You get out of here! Don't you say I take a bribe?" And he's that music that plays, that doom, doom,
Mm.
doom, doom. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna knock
When
your dick in the dirt where he was in.
when he takes his revolver and just like skims his nose with it and fires it like straight in front of his face. I'm surprised Melvin didn't just shit himself.
I
Like
would
I
have.
would have evacuated everything below my waist. Like, oh my goodness, he got him flared up real good.
Hmm. And I like how they showed he did his temper earlier on with the little, the mule. He shot with around the mule, so they kind of paid that
Yep.
off. Um, and then I do think the dance scene for the football players that was way too long. They didn't need that song, That I
No,
get the point. They needed to go there because they're supposed to close it down for a couple of months to let this blow over, and they had one more thing they had to get done, and that was the football game.
they could
But
have
that the song
postponed
was
that.
fine.
They could have
They could
postponed
have.
it.
They could have. And that song was fine, but the dancing was, I mean, it was way too long of a scene. I
Yeah.
mean, there's all this dancing. It's a musical. It's not a dance movie. I don't.
But you know what though? When they're in that bathroom and the dudes are all naked in the shower, that
Mhm.
black guy, oh, he's got a sexy ass and back, man. Like he was the best looking dude in that entire locker room. I was
It's a
like,
little
oh my
narrow for me.
goodness.
We had too narrow in the hips, right there. He just
Oh.
don't make that noise. What is...
It's a sexy back. It was a sexy man. Like I don't know what he looked like from
Oh,
the front, but if he
oh.
looked like that from the back, oh my goodness.
But that was But that was a good song. And then, of course, well, we're gonna talk about my favorite song. I don't know if it's your favorite song.
I don't know. There's only one way to find out.
Well, my favorite song is the two-step song sung by the governor when he's it is a perfect everything. It's
It
so
fits
much
so
like
well.
politician.
Did
It
he? What did
does.
he say? Nothing.
Yeah, it's a definite maybe. It's
Yeah,
like it's because I liked it and the way he disappears and he comes back around and every time he had his hat on sideways, he turns his head and his hat
that was
falls
so
on him.
brilliant. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
I
that's
was like,
Charles Zorin. He was great in this movie.
such a good shifty governor. It was perfect.
It was
Um,
wonderful.
the you had mentioned that you should cut that one scene with them dancing and all that. My
Well, a
cut,
little bit cut down.
my cut would be Burt Reynolds having a thought in the field.
Thought in the field.
Yeah, he was just like standing by a fence having a thought, and then they
Oh
show him
yeah, that
walking
yeah.
away. Like
Yeah,
none
there's
of
parts
that
that could
was
have been cut.
needed.
Yeah, they're running into the chicken ranch with Melvin P. Thorpe and when all the
Why
um
didn't he arrest them?
I don't know.
They
And
videotaped the whole thing. The evidence
they
is right there. That's breaking and
hmm
entering. That's
that
a
was a
whole
long
lot
scene
of
too. Yep.
yeah. I mean, it was a fine scene. It was very Porky's,
Yes, it
but
was very Porky's.
or Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Me too. I'm glad we both got there. Uh, but like, yeah, like it was there. I understood why they did it, but again, like the shit, they could have been so many charges, so
Right.
many
And she was
charges.
right. She goes, what about them breaking into my privacy? That's, what
Yep.
about me? They did the wrong thing. No matter if prostitution's right or wrong, moral or immoral, whatever you want to call it, they committed a crime breaking into that house.
Hmm.
And they should have been charged with it, but they weren't. And
And the way
I
the skirt around it would have been to take the check, which is weird. They paid it with a check, but
mhm.
take the check after the time because if they broke in, they have a defense of being like, "Well, we didn't receive any money
No
for it.
money,
We were
no
just
payment for
doing it
this.
because it's tradition."
You know what? That I never thought about that. But if you don't pay for it before
It's
you
not
do it, then
prostitution.
yep, that's brilliant. And I did like how the governor decided, and this is spoilers who haven't seen this freaking 40-year-old movie. Um, they ended up shutting it down because the people of Texas, 42% said shut it down,
Yep.
37% said keep it open, 21% undecided. And I'm like, damn, because and that one dude who got interviewed, it's a good thing to have it open because men are going to take what men want. That
Oh,
guy who got interviewed, like, yeah,
yeah.
they're gonna R people, SA people,
Yep.
and if they can pay for it, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe they said this in this movie. I don't remember that part at all.
There was one woman, she's like, I don't even want to do it. I'm glad there's a place where my husband can go to once a week and just get it out of his system.
Some women actually enjoy it nowadays, I hear. That
Yeah.
was funny. But the scene that just gets me, and then we'll get close to the end, is when they are fighting, and she says, "All your dreams, that's all they're ever gonna be. Pipe dreams. You're just a little boy playing house." Da 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 da. She's reading the riot act,
Yeah.
and he said, and then he's like, "Maybe so, but it's better than being a whore." And I was like, "Oh," and she got. I mean, she
Yeah.
died.
I was like, oh,
Ooh,
really?
that was so close.
Out of
Like,
anywhere
God.
you could have gone, you went right to there's levels of insult there that you could approach, and yeah, he went
Mhm.
hard fast.
Oh yeah, that realism and stuff, and that was, and she forgave him pretty easily. Now you do that in 2026, your woman ain't forgiving you. You're done. It's like you're out
Yeah,
the
good
door.
chance.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on with it? Okay.
No, I
Well,
think I'm right.
let's go on to see what the critics thought about this movie
Let's do
and the
it.
fans.
Yeah, whatever.
The first five-star review comes from Chris M. Loosely based on a real life event that happened in 1973 that became a stage hit show. What they changed other than the names, I don't know, other than the spontaneous singing. The only real flaw is the football team's dance was too long. Other than that, it was a near perfect classic.
Near perfect, but yet you gave it 5 stars.
Yeah, so it's not a, yeah, maybe it's just it's a it's the classic part. It's perfect, it's just not a perfect classic.
Split pea soup. The first 1 star or less comes from unknown. The only reason I watched this movie is because I saw a comment on my Facebook feed that one of my friends loved it, and Netflix was getting rid of it. The only reason it got even 1 star is because I laughed myself silly at Burt Reynolds' horrendous acting.
This man has never seen Burt Reynolds in anything because if you've seen him in other movies, you'd realize this is not who he is. This is, I mean, he might be here he is in real life, but that's acting. I mean, you have two different characters like the porn star he played in that one movie years later, or a Stick or Heat,
I mean,
the
it's
longest yard.
it's not too far off from Smoking the Bandit. I'm just like
No, it's not.
you could change his name to whatever his name is in Bandit and
Bo.
Bo. Yeah, change his name from Earl to Bo, and it could be a subdivision of the Smoking the Bandit where he's a deputy for or a sheriff for a while.
This is true, but those neither one of those characters could ever be in White Lightning or Gator. Completely different people, or Heat
Hmm.
or Stick, like I said. So, um, the next 5 star review comes from Unknown. Very funny and playful movie that I'm sure was beyond racy when it came out in the 1980s. Dolly Parton is just as entertaining as she always is.
She
I mean,
was
Dolly
very
Parton is just
cute.
Dolly Parton.
She was cute. This is I think I'd briefly seen 9 to 5 on Comedy Central once. Um, but like she was just super sweet and super cute. Like I could see why people were into her. Like
Hmm.
she was adorable. The next 1 star or less comes from unknown. Not only did this unknown post this once on February 6th, 2011, they also posted this on April 11th, 2013. They said,
Okay.
I just couldn't get into this. I am a huge fan of Dolly Parton's Jugs. Weak all around, but it manages to have a shred of charm of Burt's Southern fried comedies.
I'm a fan of her jugs. I mean, they are the tits.
They're pretty tits, that's facts.
I mean, if you had to sit there and do a, what do you call it, Family Feud and say, name the most famous boobs of all time, I think Dolly
Oh,
Parton's number one.
yeah, I think she would be number one.
No.
And then probably Pamela Anderson.
The last 5 star review comes from Unknown. One of my favorite movies. Of course, it's not going to be historically accurate. It's a musical, not a history show. Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds are the cutest to watch together, and the songs are hilarious and pretty catchy.
It was interesting to see Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds together in a movie. I was unaware of this movie pretty much
Most people are.
until you said it. And then I was more surprised of who was in it. Because I always felt like Burt Reynolds was more edgy than Dolly would be. Like it'd be like having Snooki and the Pope in the same room. Uh, the last of the 1 star or less comes from another unknown. Texas has a whorehouse in it.
Lord have mercy on our souls.
Um, well, not anymore.
Yeah, some funny duddy got rid of it.
Oh. Well, the WTF comes from unknown, and he or she gave it 3 stars. And what this person said is this. So every musical is gay by definition. But given the ugly whores, hot guys, and Dolly Parton, this one is definitely gay, gay, gay. Lots of fun. I knew Dolly wrote "I Will Always Love You," but I didn't realize it was for this movie. But she didn't write for this. That movie, that song came out like 10 years before this movie.
Yeah,
So
I knew somebody. Judy Garland?
no, it was Dolly Parton's
No,
song.
I
But
thought
yeah, she
somebody
wrote 10 years
else
before this.
sang it be first though.
No, I maybe, but I know Dolly Parton wrote it, but she wrote it like in 73 or
Oh,
74.
or no, maybe I'm thinking.
Now, of course,
Yeah,
Whitney Houston redid it and made it hers. So,
Ariana Grande just recently did it. I think there's
oh,
four
okay.
different people that have sing that song, but I
Yeah.
could be wrong. But I don't know. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could dig into it.
I will. I thought I loved your reaction when I read this.
I was so like I forgot she's like I've heard her version of it, and I was
hmm
like, oh my God, it's for this. It was in this movie. She sang this song. Like, yeah, and I'm like, it was about being a whore. Like,
And
not
apparently the ugly whores and hot guys.
yeah. What's funny is they're not wrong.
So I think we should move on to the scores from Rotten Tomatoes in the audience. The critics at Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie a score of 52%, while the audience, which is you at home, gave it a score of 68%.
Huh.
I don't hate it. I like
Interesting.
musicals and I do like this one.
Yeah.
And now it's time for Nate and I to give our final reviews and ratings of The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. So this movie is almost 2 hours long. We talked about, I think it's a little bit too long. And because it's too long, I don't know if I would recommend it to my surgeon, but I would because it's musical and I like it. I like most of the songs. There's not many upbeat songs. It seems a lot more slower songs. And I like musicals with more upbeat. There's a few of them, but there should be like maybe two sad, sappy songs in any musical. The rest should be boop, 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 it felt in that to me, I think. I think Burt was great. I think Dolly was great. I think Piglet or Porky, the lady, I thought she was wonderful. Dom DeLuise did a great job. The governor did a great job. I enjoyed pretty much every scene. I did. I liked the interaction through everyone. I did not like the long dance scene in the football game. They could have cut 3 minutes out of that. The dancing was fine. The booties were fine. I don't mind that at all. But dang, dude. I did like the end when they all got there and they're driving the truck. The old man's driving in the truck and he got himself a little bit of loving too. That was cute. Um, I like the music. I like the score. I like the cinematography. I liked all of it. But then again, I like musicals. And it has enough for plenty of stump bumps. Because it does have the stump bump, I am giving it 3 trees and 1 stump.
Wow.
My turn, assholes.
I enjoyed this movie way more than I expected myself to like it. Especially because I don't like musicals, but you know what? This did not have singing children in it. So obviously I liked it a lot more actually. So maybe the problem is the children is what I don't like about musicals. Most of the songs were very country feeling, country themed, which again makes sense. Dolly Parton, Burt Reynolds, country. Fine with it. Felt like um a Smokey and the Bandit movie to me. So I'm just gonna jump straight to my rating, and with that, that actually kind of helps me because I've been wrestling with um I do I feel like this movie is 4 trees and a stump, but I was having a tough time with the stump bump and do I drop it down to put it to that 4 and a point 5, and then you know what? It feels like a Smokey and the Bandit movie. Smokey and the Bandit is one of my most favorite movies of all time, if not my favorite movie of all time. this feels like a Smoking the Bandit movie. I would absolutely recommend this movie to my surgeon. And with that, this movie is a four tree and a stump movie, but because it's got a whole lot of boobies, this movie is a five tree movie. I absolutely adored the best little whorehouse in Texas.
Well, you heard it here. Nate gives this movie 5 trees. I gave this movie 3 trees and a stump, and maybe I need to hand in my musical card that I don't deserve to watch musicals anymore. And I think it failed because I had to compare it against the other musicals we watched, and
Oh,
but
this was out of the water.
so much better.
Except for Gas Pump Girls.
Ma- ma- Maybe I just thought too much of it, thinking, okay, do it doesn't matter. You gave it 5 trees, I gave it 3 trees and one stump. But what do y'all think? Please put your comments down there. Please like, subscribe, follow, and tell us what you think and what you want us to watch. And what you do, no matter what it is, it's always better than being a whore. See you next Monday on Trees in Space.